Hello! You're listening to the Ace Up Your Sleeve podcast. My name is Reichen Young, president of the Acting Company for Excellence and host of the Ace Up Your Sleeve podcast. Today we are talking to Miss Hannah Brewer. Miss Hannah started with NTPA as a sophomore in high school, beginning as an actress and now as a director. Much of her experience includes several years of working with other directors at NTPA in performances such as The Hobbit, Wizard of Oz, and Aladdin Kids. Miss Hannah is also the manager of the Acting Company for Excellence and NTPA Student Leadership Program. Beyond theatrical training, Miss Hannah is passionate about educating students in NTPA's 10 characters and using them in advance in performing arts, education, or wherever else life may lead. Welcome, Miss Hannah!
Hello!
Oh, we're so excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course! First of all, Miss Hannah, thank you so much for everything you've done to support the creation and launch of the Ace Up Your Sleeve podcast. When I first mentioned the Ace Up Your Sleeve podcast, I was doubtful that the idea would ever be taken seriously, but you believed in us and presented the idea to the organization, and here we are today! We appreciate you being an advocate for students, and we appreciate NTPA for giving us this opportunity. Thank you.
Absolutely, it's an honor.
And speaking of ACE, you're the coordinator for the Student Leadership Program. Tell us more about it and what you hope students will achieve from getting involved.
Of course. Well, just like the NTPA ACE podcast, one thing that I'm really passionate about for the ACEs is the ACEs gives you connections to have a voice. And so whether you're listening right now and you have a genius idea that you want NTPA to pursue, I hope to be your voice, your advocate. I hope to connect you with the right people and absolutely make your voice heard and give you an avenue to share your voice because you are the reason we are all here. Yeah, I just hope that you achieve whatever you're motivated to achieve through the ACE program.
The ACE audition is not the same as an audition for a production. Can you explain the differences and why students should not be intimidated to audition for ACE?
Absolutely. So one of the cool things about an ACE audition is it's very neutral. When you're auditioning for a show, you think about the show style, you think about the production experience as a whole, you think about the director, the age of the students that you're involved in, the characters you're wanting to audition for. With an ACE audition, it's entirely up to you, which is really beautiful. You get to design your audition piece. We ask that you provide contrasting experiences, so maybe a classical monologue and then a contemporary monologue, or a classical song versus a contemporary song, or maybe something with more of a belt or a power to it, and maybe something a bit softer. So something that's just contrasting. And that's something that's different from our traditional NTPA auditions. We also ask that you provide three pieces, whether it's 2 monologues in a song or 2 songs in a monologue. We ask that you provide 3 pieces to perform. And then if you're a current ACE member, one of the differences is you receive live feedback. Sometimes when you walk out of an NTPA audition or you submit a video, you don't know what the director is thinking or what areas of improvement you can pursue unless you ask the director. And so with this, you don't have to ask. We will just give you some pointers and some goals for the next year. And so hopefully your audition experience will grow being a part of the ACE program, having received that live feedback and then receiving it in an email separately as well. So that's kind of the big key pointers for the ACE auditions.
Alrighty. Now, you started with NTPA several years ago as a student performing on stage, and now you are an NTPA director. What is it about NTPA that brought you back to the organization, and what was the transition like from student to director?
Wow, that's a big question there. So I started with NTPA my sophomore year of high school, and I jumped into it way too late, for sure. I wish I would have started a little bit sooner. I actually helped when ACE was all different theaters. It was in Plano, Fairview, and Frisco when I was a student, so I helped start the Frisco troupe. So
wow.
I was working a lot in ACE there and developed a lot of great leadership skills there, and then when I turned 17, they needed help in summer camps, and I jumped into summer camps to help, and honestly, those summer camps paid my way through college. So I taught lots of summer camps, and through summer camps found I had a love for teaching arts, not only arts, but the 10 characters through summer camps. So I absolutely loved doing that. And then I started helping with the 2-week major productions, which made me think, oh, I could do this. This is fun. So I choreographed a few numbers, led a lot of tech stuff. I did costumes. I did anything that the directors entrusted to me. I touched, and I was excited to learn about the process. So by the time I actually had my associates through college, I was ready. I was hooked. I was ready to be a director, and so I went to the Frisco board actually with a proposal. I had put a budget together. I had put the show together. I said, we need to do more plays. We need to do a play. And so I came and I said, I've got 15 students lined up. I've got a rehearsal venue that we can go to. I've got a performance space. Let me put on a night of melodramas. And that was my first big hit. And basically I was like, if it's a total flop, you don't lose any money. And if it's a win, we just supported NTPA Frisco in growing the theater. And a huge thank you, huge shout out to our amazing Frisco board who made it possible and believed in me. And since then, I've directed nearly 35, 40 shows.
Wow.
Coming up on 40 this year. I am so honored to continue through NTPA and be now in the development office and hopefully build this place to be a fantastic place for when my 2-year-old gets to be on the stage one day.
Now, as a director, can you give us a glimpse into what goes on behind the scenes to prepare for a show, even before students audition?
Wow, there's a lot that goes into it. I can tell you from the NTPA point of view, it may be different at other theater locations, but we prepare the rehearsal schedule in advance. We take the time to put together our team. If we need assistant director, choreographer, those kind of things need to fall into place. We need to make sure we secure royalties and rights to the theater. We need to decide on a venue and what that looks like. A lot of that is determined by management, but sometimes we get some thoughts into where we end up performing and the titles that we pick. A lot of that goes into probably 6 months in advance. We're 6 to 12 months in advance, depending on the show and how long it takes for those royalties. When we're thinking about our cast, we think about who do we need to be in our show? Do we need a big cast? Do we need a small cast? That'll determine how much recruitment we pour into the show. And then just what do we want to get out of this experience? Is this an educational theater experience? Is this a competitive theater experience? Do we want to present a show that's going to take kids to the next level or prepare them for college? Or is this something that we need to focus on building the basics, the stage right, stage left, how to work together as a team, those kind of things, all determines what goes into a show process. So we're thinking about all of those things before that first auditioner walks into the rehearsal room.
And finally, what advice would you give students who want to pursue educational theater as a career?
Go for it. If you're passionate about giving back to the students, make connections, enjoy every single opportunity that you can get. Learn everything that you do, you can learn something from it. I think even if it's an experience that maybe wasn't your favorite, or maybe you were kind of skeptical about joining, but then it didn't turn out the way it planned, everything that you do, you can learn something and gain something from it. So seek those opportunities out. Try something new. If you don't like a particular age group, work on to the next age group, or practice working with that group. We need more teachers. We need people who are passionate about teaching creative arts and pouring into the lives of students, teaching these 10 characters so that way we can have beautiful, amazing future leaders of tomorrow. So you giving back to these students is incredibly valuable and important if you're passionate about motivating the youth of tomorrow.
And now, Miss Hannah, it is time for the 5 quick questions, where we ask every guest the same 5 quick questions. You must answer every question quickly and without explanation. Are you ready?
Oh, I think I'm ready.
Number 1, what was the name of the first show you performed?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes! What is your favorite role?
Ooh, favorite role? Sarah Brown in Guys and Dolls.
Nice! What is your favorite show?
Oh, dear. Little Mermaid was my first show that got me involved in NTPA, so I'll go with Little Mermaid.
Nice. What is your dream role?
Miss Darbus in High School Musical.
And what is your favorite candy?
Dove chocolate.
Yes. Thank you so much, Miss Hannah, for talking with us on the Ace Up Your Sleeve podcast. And until next time, I'm Reichen Young. Remember, you always have a winning hand with an ace up your sleeve. The Ace Up Your Sleeve podcast is brought to you by the students of the Acting Company for Excellence at North Texas Performing Arts. This podcast was created by Reichen Young, with sound design and editing by Latham Young. Faculty supervision is provided by Hannah Brewer. NTPA is a nonprofit organization dedicated to developing the character of youth through quality performing arts education and family entertainment. Learn more about upcoming programs and events at ntpa.org.